JB here, JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Monday, December 30th, 2024, 9:07 on this second to last trading session of 2024. Do apologize. I'm under the weather. Seems like everybody, or a lot of people I talk to, either sick or have been sick, getting over cold. So apologize for my voice. Anyway, talk about the market. Some names I'm looking at, go from there. But take a look at S&P futures and the markets. They were actually pretty much flat to mixed overnight, and then at 7 o'clock, it was just almost 7:30. Markets just started to sell off for no reason. Some of the catalysts you could say on Friday was rising rates, right? Yields are at seven-month highs, and then this morning it's been the reverse. Yields are actually going lower. So yeah, some of it, I was talking on Friday, the Magnificent Seven stocks. So you see some of the names, like Microsoft, Google. Tesla's down quite a bit this morning as well. Nvidia, they all seem to be taking on a chin. And yes, Friday's open. It seemed like they led the charge, and then the rest of the stocks followed. So I don't know if it's some folks just taking some profits into 2025, some repositioning. Who knows? Hopefully, you find a bottom here, support. 585 is kind of the line in sand for me on the SPY, so I want to see that hold it at least. It's trading under SPY's trading under its 50-day moving average right now in the pre-market, which is 590.88. So that doesn't bode well either. I mean, we haven't really closed below that 50-day moving average much, besides last Wednesday and Thursday. Two previous Wednesdays and Thursday at post Fed. So kind of want to see those areas hold. If we break 585 on the SPY, I'll be looking for some hedges. If we hold the ground here, don't break 585 today. I'll just kind of stand pat and maybe look for some opportunities to play for bounces. Uh, the thing is, on Friday's sell-off, it kind of happened quickly. So once we started to break down, it was hard to find some hedge positions because they're all down a couple percent already. And I wasn't in my thought process on the move was that we would find some support at some point, at some time, which we did. So we'll see how today plays out. That's what I'll be watching. And then the yields, and you take a look at the 10-year, and it's I guess they say 475 is the big spot here, but it's at 7-month highs. So at some point, it's going to take away some of the less luster on some of these growth themes, and those will start to come under pressure or more pressure, right? So definitely something to watch. And then last, but I always talk about the small caps. Small caps down nearly 1.5% on Friday, and IWM's right at the 220 handle. So kind of want to see that hold here today. All right, so that's overall markets, individual names. I mean, I did my rant Friday afternoon. I've talked about a lot over the last week or so with this TripAdvisor situation. I look at the valuation, the recent acquisition, or at least reacquiring the stake from Liberty Group TripAdvisor. Talked about their business, the fact that possibly one of their segments could be spun off and probably return the same valuation where the company is right now, or maybe a $1.5 billion valuation on a spinoff. Uh, the two to three segments are growing. And then I look at the chart, and then historically speaking, the last 2 years, it has run hard from the end of December into the new year, and it did it last year. It did it in 2023, and I would not be surprised to do it again and have some deja vu here into 2025. I added some more strikes on Friday, just using the morning weakness as an opportunity to add more calls. I'll probably just stand pat for now. And then if it starts to break 15, I think that's the next threshold. Once it breaks 15, I think it's off to races. Then maybe I'll look for some more strikes as well. Really like TripAdvisor into 2025 because it's one of those names that I look at and I'm like, how do it, especially where it's trading. It's not like it's trading at 52-week highs or anything like that. It's trading off just on some growth concerns that were early in the year, and its recent earnings showed promise. So so enough on that one. 15 is the big spot there. Clear Secure still have a tight Bollinger Band set up flat. The last pretty much 3 sessions in a row, tight doji candles, tight trading pattern, closed down 0.2% on Friday despite the market weakness. Once that breaks 28, I'll add some more strikes. I like that one into 2025 a lot. I posted this chart a lot recently too, this lemonade bull flag. So it's consolidating after a huge move from the start of November from under $20. It hit what? It hit 55. Now it's consolidating. And then you have the two scenarios, right? The scenario that it breaks that consolidation, finally breaks out of consolidation. It's 60 plus very quickly. I think it'll be a very quick squeeze. And then on the flip side, the 35 handle. If it breaks under that support, it kind of it above will confirm it. a below the 35 probably invalidates that pattern, and then I'll have to revisit. Of course, I'm in calls, so I'm bullish biased. And then I think if it breaks 45, that's the spot I would look to get some more strikes there. But I think Lemonade's a great story. It's misunderstood. I talk about the travel sector, the insurance sector as a whole, a lot. And Lemonade kind of checks a lot of those boxes for a story that could be a misunderstood story. It has, people always talk about reserves and all those things, but people can create these narratives around insurance companies to make them look horrible, right? It's very easy to do that. Where I think Lemonade is at the forefront using AI to really change that landscape and be a disruptor. All right, so that's Lemonade. Just some other names here, and what's funny is the more some things I don't know. Every day I learn something new about the market. I did not know AMD is one of the top 5 traded stocks on every exchange. Right? It's in regards to volume. Right? Tesla, Apple, SPY is has been one of the top 5 uh, traded in regards to volume dollar wise. Right? And AMD is up there. It's top 5 typically every year for the last couple of years. So just remarkable. And then you start looking at AMD. It's red for the year, right? And despite seeing the move up in Nvidia, and then you do comparisons. And I'm not sitting here saying Nvidia and AMD should be compared on an apples to apples basis, but it's like Nvidia's trades at, I think it's like they do 100 million in revenues, and they're like a $3 trillion company, 100 billion, excuse me. So it's like 30 times revenues or 28 times revenues, where AMD is 200 billion dollar company and do 25 billion in revenues. So again, not apples to apples. So it's pretty much they're giving 3 times more premium to the revenues for Nvidia than AMD. And then uh, I was trying to think of some of the other comparisons there, but anyway, I, this is why it keeps leading me to AMD at times to think that at some point this is going to be the forgotten stepchild is going to start to rally. And not saying it's going to trade at equal multiples or things like that, but uh, just anyway. So don't be surprised. I added calls a couple weeks ago, was able to close them out for some profits. I'll continue to look for opportunities on AMD. Same with UNH, and UNH didn't play out on Friday. It actually looked like it was going to break out, and then all of a sudden the market sold off at 10 o'clock, and then UNH went from 513 down to 509. But don't be surprised, especially today. You look today, and it was pretty much flat in the pre-market, and then it's sold off a little bit with the market. But it's down here at 507, 508. If it reverses red to green, could look for some spec calls today as well. That's UNH. And then some other names, I keep looking at Intuit. It's right near its 200-day moving average. That 631 area is a big spot. If that breaks, I'll finally look to get some puts there. Same with Decker's. Decker's been holding that line there in the tight trading range. It's not a lot of volume, hasn't been moving too much, but I think there's an opportunity there now with the stock kind of flatlining. If it does get some pressure, I think there's an opportunity to get maybe some 185, some 180 puts. The 50-day moving average is right at 184.79. Um, and Travel Zoo, I was watching Travel Zoo at the open yesterday, and all of a sudden just slowly melted. And it wasn't even the highest volume session of December, but it closed down nearly 11%. I don't know if someone's trying to get out, but could present an opportunity here. And surprisingly enough, it's traded in a tight range since December, since the start of December, between that 19 and 20 and all the way up to 22. So every time it's dipped, it's bounced a couple. It took a couple days to get back to new 52-week highs, and it gave it back pretty quickly. So not in a rush to try and chase it here, but at some point, new year starting, a new program starting, it's gonna be I think it's $25-$30 in the coming month or two. That's my rant. Sorry about my my voice. Still working on that top 5 stock webinar. It'll be out Wednesday. I was trying to get it out by today and tomorrow, just so if there are some opportunities. But don't be surprised if I do find one today. If I do get some calls, I'll get on audio and kind of give a quick synopsis. And then obviously I'll give my full due diligence on my top 5 stock webinar. Anyway, let's have a great day. 14 minutes to open. Rock and roll.